nobody blocking. Big win, it's a ring and a watch. Strong in when he.
Tonight, from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, it's a special prime-time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs taking on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
It is perhaps the best home field advantage in all of football, and certainly the loudest, as we welcome you to GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Arrowhead Stadium tunnels, and the noise level in this place was just about off the charts. They're set for football as the Chiefs get set to do battle with the Cincinnati Bengals. McPherson has this one teed up, and into a sea of red, we're underway in Kansas City. Byron Pringle now to return it. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The KC offense set to go, led as always by the gunslinger, a former MVP in this league. It's Patrick Mahomes.
And when you think of Patrick Mahomes, you start to think about all of his attributes, and you realize very quickly you can't just put him into one box. No matter how the game proceeds, no matter what is needed, he tends to have an answer for it and plays accordingly.
They'll run for the first time with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Edwards-Helaire, they'll try to run for it. On Edwards-Helaire, I don't think he got there. He did not. They'll stop him short. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Strong start by this defense. 3rd and short, they go with a run. Stonewalled for no gain.
I played for a guy who always talked about setting tones and meeting force with force. That felt like it on that play, didn't it? And they met it in a big way and won. What a great job by the defense.
On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Bengals on offense, and here is Joe Burrow ready to lead them at quarterback.
And when you come into the league as the #1 guy selected, a lot of hype comes with it. Sometimes that weight can be unbearable. But this young man, he took that weight on and handled it as well as you can imagine. And I love his ability to make a second, third reaction play and create downfield.
He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A big pickup there on the run. You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw caught by Higgins. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Ready?
Now Burrow on 1st down. Now he's flushed out right. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Throw left side, complete to Chase. And the Bengals are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. Burrow will throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, 1st down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on 1st down in this situation because 2nd down, that gives me an option of running play action, maybe throwing it.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
All right, Captain, it's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you kind of run out of your running plays, fire another one into the end zone.
3rd and goal, Burrow. And that'll be caught. Touchdown, Bengals. It's Tyler Boyd. 2 yards on the touchdown there. And the Bengals are on the board first here on the road in Kansas City. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. This taken in at the goal line. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Kansas City taking the field for their second drive. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Working with a 2nd and 4. A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. On first down, Mahomes. Caught. Kelsey, left side. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. They'll run here with Edwards-Helaire. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. He will find his man Chase complete. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39.
It's a gain of 25 yards. And the Bengals first down.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
From the gun, a give to Mixon. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Now it appears we've got a Chief moving pretty gingerly down there. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to KC. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 47. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Burrow. He'll air this one out for Boyd. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A big connection on that one. 38 yards. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover him. That type of indecision can open it up to even more big plays.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. They'll give it to Mixon. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. Three tight ends up front here. 3rd and goal. Mixon. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Bengals. They got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get them over the goal line.
McPherson on for the point after. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. From his end zone is Byron Pringle. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. KC's offense ready to take over. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum? The scoreboard tells a story for them, a little bit bleak, and while it's not quite desperation time yet, it's definitely getting close, but the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run. It's Edwards-Helaire. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
On play action, it's Mahomes. It's Kelsey on the ground. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Two minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Second and 2. Mahomes to throw once more. Eluding the pressure right. And Mahomes picking up the first as he slides and hits the deck.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They fake the give. Now Mahomes. And he's got it. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped it to 1. The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Mahomes going to throw. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Patrick Mahomes punching it in from a yard away. And the Chiefs are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. Extra point by Butker is on target. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Joe Mixon and the Bengal offense ready to go back to work. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do. A lot of times it's that first read that you had. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
2nd and 10. Now it's Burrow. Quick slant caught by Chase. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Again, it's Burrow. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And he will get this to the midfield stripe, but that's not going to be enough. He's a few yards short. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to, as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. Brandon Wilson to return it. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them. As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 49-yard line. Now it's Burrow. On this one, incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Burrow. This is caught. It's Boyd. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 31-yard line.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And Burrow going to throw again. And this is caught. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Tyler Boyd, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Bengals, they widen their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. McPherson now for the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it ends with a Bengals score. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
And out across midfield down to the 45.
Time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Here's Edwards-Helaire. And, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe they'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now Mahomes. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. Touchdown! Tyreek Hill, 45 yards. And the Chiefs are able to get this back within a touchdown. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Butker on for the PAT. It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And Wilson is perfectly content to bring this out to the 25, a touchback. Joe Burrow trots out again with the rest of his offense. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that.
Mixon hit, and all the ball is out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. The fumble on first down. Now here's second down. A handoff to Mixon. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Third down. Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Boyd. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. On second down, here's Mixon. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. CD, put on your OC cap here. What do you do? 2nd and 1, you get stuffed. Now 3rd and 1.
You know, in the old days, I would have said we're going to line up and we're going to run the same darn play and we're going to get it right. But nowadays, as tough as defenses are, I want some mobility. I want some movement, putting the ball in the hands of my quarterback and giving him a run-pass option.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 72 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 36. Burrow looking to pass. Out of his hands quickly to Higgins. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Mixon. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. So both teams trade touchdowns in the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that'll make it a 2nd down.
Another nice pickup through the air. And I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon. But with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Burrow to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, listen, when you've got the lead, there's absolutely no sense trying to fit a ball in where you shouldn't. You can see the coaching in his head taking place on that play because he saw he had a receiver in the area, and he just put it well over his head out of harm's way.
So 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive, and now they face a 3rd and 3 here. They'll look to throw here. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. C.J. Uzomah there to make the grab. And the Bengals add on to their lead. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
And McPherson on for the extra point. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And able to get this out to the 25. And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield. Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And he'll look underneath here for Edwards-Helaire. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure they only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
From the 45 on 2nd down, Mahomes. It's complete to Robinson. Now it's Mahomes again. They complete it to Hill. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up. They've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Now he's forced out left. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. From midfield, here's Mahomes. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
To throw again on 2nd down, Mahomes. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Now here's Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Felt compelled to go for it there on fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a fourth down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
One crisis averted, but they still need to move hastily. Mahomes will throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Mahomes to throw it. Finding Hardman here over the middle. And the Chiefs are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the 1st down.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the Bengals are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, obviously, Charles, this stage of the game, down 2 scores, they had to put the football in the air. Unfortunately, it gets picked off.
And the criticism comes easily in situations like this, but you just laid it out. Look where they are on the scoreboard. Look at where the clock is in the game. He has to take a chance here and try and get the ball downfield to his receivers. Unfortunately, it was picked off.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Once again, they run with Mixon. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
Here we go. Here we go.
The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. Burrow down to a knee, and that should be the final act of this one. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say good night from Kansas City.